was worried about this game leading into this because in some
Recording
ways,
in progress.
it was a team coming in to this building out of playoffs, and you know, I thought our mentality throughout the week was good, but it was exhaled, and we got into the postseason. So I think that was a big relief because we've been preaching it all year, and it's natural to say, okay, we're in the postseason. So again, I was a little worried about the mentality of coming in this, but you could tell from the get-go these guys that they want more, and that's a really healthy thing. And it was I mean, the first half was an incredible first half. I mean, the way they played, the way they trusted each other, the way they moved the ball, it was just a joy to watch. And the last few games, the last two games, we weren't killers. We didn't finish out plays in the way that to give us the points we needed. And we really kind of hammered that home this week and made sure collectively that we were going to be a little sharper and really dial it in front of goal, and they did that. And then I thought they managed the game really well. Colorado, they're dangerous. They have some weapons, obviously set pieces and things. They were difficult in the long throw-ins, but overall, just a really good night from the guys.
Thank you for that. We'll start here with Al.
Hey, Coach. You guys inched closer to clinching home field advantage, where you guys improved to, I think, 15-4-5 this year across all competitions. How nice would it be to keep playing at home, you know, in the playoffs?
It was a great crowd, and from the beginning we've talked about a broken record, right? We want to protect our home field, and it's the way to success in this league. At least puts you in a postseason if you have a really good season at home. And it's nice in some ways. The weather's changed, so there's more people that, you know, in the fans. We're getting a little publicity now from winning the cup, and I think we're starting to build some momentum in the seats, and that's important for us. So they've helped a great deal, and it's so getting that extra game would be a big deal, you know. If it goes to that, everybody gets a home and away, so it doesn't necessarily mean you even use it. But if you have it, if you need it, it'd be nice to be back home for that third game. So we'll see. We'll just go after Portland again and put our best foot forward with there and get max points. We'll see I don't know the results or what the table, how it shakes out, or what we need. So we'll dissect it. But it was a good crowd tonight. It was good energy.
Thanks, Coach.
Hello, Coach. So 5-1 victory. First of all, congratulations. How proud are you of your back line today? Obviously, they held a clean sheet through the first 45 minutes, gave up a goal in the second half. But overall, how happy were you with their work rate today?
We've got some Captain Obvious. We've got some good defenders. And we've got some good defenders, you know, on the bench that have come in and helped us throughout the year. And they're pretty businesslike and they're pros, and they just put on a really good performance. Griffin had, I think, a good night. The center backs were steady, and Franco's, you know, Franco's a machine, and continues to be kind of a guy you want to go to battle with. He's a winner. So, and then Artur had a really good night. We've used him so many minutes, too many, and it was nice to get him through this period because he was one of the guys that played 3 games in a row. And Miami just we're a little thin in there at times, so he's the guy that has been an Iron Man. So I'm happy he got through it and he gets a few days off.
Nelson Quinones with 2 goals today. Recently, he's been in a really good run of form. Can you explain to us maybe why that is? Has there been like some sort of motivation that he's been getting to be playing that well?
You know, this is his first. He's young, right? First of all, so he's growing, and this is the demands of this league and the length of the season and are difficult. So I think we're watching him mature, and there's less time in between good games. And that's kind of the trick with a young player. You know there are going to be ups and downs, but how can you shrink that? And, you know, how can you play a few good games in a row, and okay, then have a little bit of a dip because you're young and you can't stay there, as opposed to, an Eric Sviatchenko who just stays there. This is what the older guys do. Again, that time is shrinking on him, and that's nice to see. Defensively, he's putting in a real shift too, and it's really important the way we play, that he's up and down and covering a ton of ground.
Thank you.
Hi, Coach. I have two questions. The first is, on the second half, you made rotations with players like Franco, Teenage. What is your assessment about those players?
The players that came in,
Yep.
they did fine. They didn't have enough time really to make an impact in the game. All of them. I could have used them earlier, but things were going pretty well, and we have some time off, so there wasn't much I needed to get out. Franco was feeling a little sore, so we got him out, and then the other guys were just to get some rest, and we had some yellow card issues. We wanted to get Coco off for that reason. So overall, they did fine, but they didn't have enough time to really make a big impact.
And the second question, how you feel the support of fans today?
What's that?
The support of the fans?
It was great. The last 2 weeks have been, again, I don't know what the totals were, but I'm looking around and it feels full. It always feels full, but now it feels full and it's close to full. And so we got to keep. It always feels good, and they give us a lot of energy. But we want more. We're selfish. We want to keep putting people in the seats and make this place a really tough place to come.
Hi, Ben.
Hi.
It's been a while. I just want to officially congratulate you.
You look great.
Yeah, thank you.
You look great.
Thank you so much. Congratulations once more as being a U.S. Open Cup champion. And I know that's an amazing feat. A lot of
Thank you.
people didn't give you the opportunity, but you delivered and you came.
Thank you.
So that shows that you're a coach that wins, that wants to win and know how to win. So now the Dynamo has clinched a place in the playoff. So what strategies have you put in place to, who knows, surprise everybody again by winning another trophy?
Well, I don't. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't think we're that under the radar right now. And I'm a pretty humble guy. And I don't mind being under the radar. But if you're watching that team out there, or you're watching them in the Open Cup final, then it's I don't know if you really want to play us, right? But so we'll continue to do what we do and continue to try to just be at our best, on the offensive side, and continue to kind of clean up some things, and then be a collective team on the defensive end that looks after each other and is gritty and hardworking and clear in kind of when we're at our best. And we have 2 weeks now to, I think, go through some of that stuff. It's been a real ride the last couple weeks. No breaks, so it'll be nice to exhale for a few days and then get back to work and again try to clean up some things that I think we can enhance to make sure that we're ready for Portland, which is going to be it's always a tough place to go, but also ready for the playoffs and make sure we're at our best, and we're very, very clear in understanding who we are and what makes us tick. But it's a fun group. They like each other. You can see it on the field, the way they play, and they like to go to battle with each other. So all is good for now.
One last question. Your team have perfectly in sync all through the way they started and how they play now. You can see the free flows of passes that are going around. So, and that has led to a lot of goals. That will keep on scoring goals, which is good for the team. Even from the bench, the subs come and still score goals. So now the playoff is a totally different ball game, different mentality, different type of teams you're going to meet. Is this team going to go all in attack, or you're going to be a little bit conservative?
We want to do both. We want to be. We'd love to have the ball. I don't care. We want to continue to push, and we want to continue to score goals. But you get less chances in the playoffs. It's turned up, and so you have to be super efficient. And when you do have these opportunities that we've had over the last couple of weeks, we have to be killers in those moments. But we still have to hang our hat on our defensive shape and our ability to work collectively and be clear on our principles and how we go about different styles coming at us. Our defensive record has been pretty damn good this year. It's very rarely that we've given up more than one goal. We've had as many shutouts as most teams in the league. I think fourth best defensive. So that is still where we want to hang our hat. And on the day when if the offense is clicking and we're scoring some goals, it's a nice little recipe to have both of those.
Hi, Coach. You had 5 players on the yellow card accumulation list. None of them are going to be missing against Portland. How big is that?
Yeah, it's big. I probably should have got a few of them out earlier, but it's more of a whisper in their ear, like be smart. Don't crack anybody and get suspended. So that's a big deal to going into Portland. We're going to need everybody, but I also we have depth, and if someone. This was an important game, so we wanted to get these 3 points, and if someone's suspended for the next one, someone's suspended for the next one, we'll go with the next guy up.
Hi, Ben.
How are you?
I'm all right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For season. Second objective, you check that big box.
Well said.
Like you said in those pre-match conferences. Your last game against Montreal ended 1-1 draw, and tonight you pumped 5 goals against Colorado Rapids, 48 hours turnaround. Is there any specific strategy that you implemented during that 48 hours window in training that resulted to this big win we saw tonight?
No, I think one advantage we had is we were able to put out a fresh group, and in Montreal we rotated the squad, and we relied on some guys that haven't had a lot of minutes, the last couple weeks. They came in, did a great job in Montreal, and then there was a bunch of guys this match that were fresh and ready to roll, and it played into it even more because they didn't have a game, so they weren't heavy-legged, and they could come at us with full strength and their quote-unquote best team. So I think if anything that worked out this week was that we're deep and we were able to rotate our squad and get something out of Montreal.
Do you think this win send a message to your would-be opponent going forward in the playoff about what this team is capable of achieving?
I don't know. I don't know what other teams think of us. But, I'm happy for the guys and the organization right now that we are getting some eyeballs on us and that people are, enjoying the way we're playing and and respecting us a little bit more than they were at the beginning of the year. And I think that's still part of this process that we're trying to do. And again, bring back fans and play a certain style that's entertaining and also win games and don't need to be feared, but respected around the league.
This team seems to be playing like a well-oiled machine in all departments, defensively, midfield, and the offense. And I remember the game against Montreal when your captain, Hector, was suspended due to a local accumulation. You said in your pre-match conference, I remember, that there is a guy out there on the bench who is ready to step in and do his job. And they did just that. How deep is your squad ahead of the playoffs?
It's pretty good. It's pretty deep. I think it's pretty solid. We don't have, our Hector is a superstar, but other than that, there's a lot of guys here that, we're sharing. We've shared the playing time for most of the year, and we've rotated constantly. Sometimes because of the games have come fast and furious, but also sometimes through injuries or suspensions, and we've used a lot of guys. And through that process, the guys get confidence from their teammates, and it builds a nice team chemistry when everybody's contributing throughout the year. So that's I think a big part why this group likes each other and has real trust. And that's not just 1 through 11. There's 15, 16, 17 guys that have really contributed this year, and it's nice as a coach because that's why I like the games. If you're a little bit of a deeper squad, you rotate and everybody's happy. If you're playing week in, week out all the time, you don't have to rotate as much and get more guys not getting the love. All right, thanks. Good.
Coach, just one last question. First of all, congrats on the win and congrats on your feature in the magazine, by the way. Great photo.
Oh, really?
Look great.
I haven't seen it.
Looks great.
We'll
We're hitting them out outside.
looking out at that one.
Definitely must check it out. I had a question for you regarding looking forward to playoffs. What are your thoughts on the format, on the whole, two best out of 3 series on the first round and all that? Have you looked into that yet?
Yeah, we've looked at it, and we've kind of had some dialogue around it. It's what it is. The league is always kind of throwing darts at, okay, what's the next playoff schedule? They've been doing that since I came to this league in '98. There's been, I don't know how many, 10 different, there's always expansion, so it's harder with the numbers. Everybody wants a home game, right? That's a little bit where this stems from, which is great. Yeah, so I'm okay with it. It's just what it is. I don't get too caught up in agreeing or disagreeing. It's the right or wrong. It's just like, okay, this is it. This is what it is. And so we've kind of thought about what it looks like, and if there's anything you need to think about that can give you an advantage. But it's, in the end, you go game to game. You try to win the first one. You try to win the second one. And if there's a third, you try to win the third one.
And a couple of players around the league, and as well as coaches, have made comments about the amount of games that the players in this league have to go through. Have your players, or you had any conversation about that, the amount of games?
Yeah, players have been okay with it, and I'm okay with it. It's just, this is what we're dealt with, and we have a lot of, I think because we've been able to be a deeper squad and rely on a bunch of players early, I think it's actually helped us because, again, as I said, more players come in. Now, you have to win games, and you have to have a successful season to enjoy kind of that depth and that camaraderie of everybody helping and rotating squads. Because if it doesn't go that way, it's not a lot of fun. So, yeah, we've been able to rotate, and a lot of guys got minutes, and we've been healthy. Our sports science department, led by Paul Caffrey, has been incredible. The way they've managed the heat and injuries and soft tissues, and our trainers, again, they deserve a lot of credit on how they dealt with this team physically, because it's not an easy place to have durability, and we've been lucky, and also there's been a lot of hard work and thought behind it.
Hi, Coach. Nelson was, you had a conversation with him before Open Cup, kind of just wanting to get on the same page and expecting your expectations of him. He's kind of just been crushing it since that conversation. Heading into this, the playoffs, are there any other conversations that need to be had, or any readjustments or assessments?
I think it's just about how he prepares, and I see him when he prepares it, and the game is, it's a heightened game and a big moment, and he preps for it. He knows he's starting, and he's able to put in these type of performances. And some days he's not, and he was inconsistent. I talked about it before. He's a young kid, young player. But is he talented? I mean, it is just, he's electric, and he's entertaining, he's fun, and he's very, very technical too, and his feet are soft. He's just so well-rounded, and he's really worked on his defensive game and given real effort coming back. And it's been really fun to watch him grow. And it's scary how good he can be and where he can go. But again, this part has to keep growing, and it will, because I think his teammates really like him, and it's not me. It's not one talk. We're all working with him. Luis Casedos, a countryman, and I think he's taking him under his wing. Hector, he's got a lot of older brothers on this team too, that are rooting for him to go to where he can. And that's not now, but in a few years, hopefully that's not MLS. Hopefully he is that type of talent that he can move on and go somewhere. But he's got a lot of work to do. He's still, up and down, but from a base, he's pretty impressive.
You grabbed the mic tonight, kind of gave a message to the lucky fans in the building. Can you kind of say something for the fans that weren't lucky enough, but that you want to come here and watch you guys in this playoff push?
I want people coming back. And again, we're lucky that it hasn't happened a lot over the last decade, and the fact that we have a playoff game here, we need to get this place packed. We need to have every seat in this building sold to give us the edge we need to, again, continue on this path of growing this organization and getting this back to where we want it to be, and that's in the postseason consistently, and hopefully holding more trophies. But we need it back. I remember playing here back in the day for DC United. It was packed, and it was hot and packed. So it was hell, and so it's not going to be hot, but we can still make it packed and loud. And again, the fans that are here, we feel you. It's great energy, but we know we can make it even better. And come on out. It's a good show right now. Good.
Coach,
Yep.
Quickly, congrats on the win. Lots of great players you've got, but specifically you want to touch up on Coco. Gets an assist tonight. Talk to me about him since you've met him to now.
He's a great person, kid. I mean, he's just absolutely, he's quiet, and he just goes about his job every day. He's a big-time pro, trains very hard, and likable, and he's a very different type of player that I've had. The way his ability to drive, highly physical. Still, there's more to Coco too. There's more to so many of these guys. There's that, and that's exciting. Like Hector's really, and maybe Eric, like they're like the finished product, right? They are. They're. But even Coco is still fairly young in his own way, and putting up more goals and assists, and that's the challenge for him, to really be a guy that's, 10 and 10 every year, because he does so much good in between the 18s, and sometimes rewarding himself for all of this good stuff. And it was nice for him to have a final product. I know we've been working with that all year and making sure it's the right weight, and I think he was really proud of that tonight. So he's been great.
Spoke up on him because he's been called up for international duty. 2 big games for him last month. Was limited to some minutes. Will there be a message sent to his international coach? No
message to international coaches. No. He's lucky to have him. He knows that. I'm a Panama fan now.